Hey everybody, Rising Phoenix Antiques. Today we are looking at a vintage Hitachi boombox. And this is a model TRK 9100H. And it has the detachable speakers. I'm starting on the back side because I want to, that's where all the business happens for the most part. Anyways, one of the few main things you always have to check is the battery compartment. And with just a tiny bit of corrosion on the spring itself, but nothing obviously that's going to interfere with function, the battery compartment is pretty darn minty. So no issues there. You've got your two speaker disconnects. They're basically a 3.5. You just unplug those, detach the speakers. That all works as it normally should. The cord for this is a two-prong, as you can see right there, although I don't know that it is original because the outlet is oval on both ends and this is square on one end, but it does work and it does, exactly what it should. The antenna. So as everyone knows, especially with vintage radios that have retractable antennas, a lot of times those get bent or pieces get broken off. We purchased a new old stock vintage Hitachi antenna to replace the broken one on this one. So this is a brand new antenna, perfect, ready to rock and roll. The only thing is, obviously trying to find an exact replacement was difficult. So we went with the closest one we could find, and as you can see, it doesn't quite snap in. It's a little longer. This would normally be right here so that you could just push that antenna down in place. Now, it lays good, it looks good, nothing wrong with it, and being that the antenna is new, it's a minor inconvenience. Then we get around to the front. So, good news is radio, tuner, buttons, all that stuff, lights, everything works great. Bad news is tape deck does not. We rounded up a couple of cassettes. We're getting no life out of the cassette at all. So, I mean, the eject works, but beyond that, it's not terrible in there, but most of these have some kind of belt system in there, and once that belt disintegrates, you're done. So you've got to replace those belts. We're not going to go through that. If the new buyer wants to do that to get this thing back to, minty working condition, you sure could do it. The other thing we need to note is, cosmetically speaking, is you see there's a little bit of discoloration on the cone there, and same right there. Now again, we could take these speaker cabinets apart and try to clean all that up or repaint them or do whatever, but you know what? It works. We're not going to go through all that. So we'll go ahead and turn it on.
Thanks for joining us, Helen. Perfect to be here. So, Helen.
Really matters.
So that's with the loudness on. And that's with the loudness off.
My time is
Treble, mid, and bass adjustments all work. We did notice there was some static in the treble. At one point, we weren't getting any signal out of the tweeter, but with a couple of quick zips up and down, it popped right back on. It sounds great. It's working fine. Your little signal meters are both working. The balance works. No static in the volume, no static in the balance. Your loudness, your Dolby, those all work. Your function selectors. This has shortwave. We have no idea if that works. We don't, when we're in western Wisconsin, I have no idea if there's shortwave around here or not. But anyways. So, acoustically, it sounds really good. We put it up to, let me find something here. we're inside a metal building, so it's not super easy to tune. I mean, that's only 25% of the volume, so I mean, it's it does sound really well. So anyways, cosmetically, beyond the stuff we pointed out on the speaker cones, I think on this one end, yeah, there's some scratching, as you can see on the speaker cabinet, but other than that, I mean, it looks great, it sounds great, the stereo function works great, just needs some TLC with the cassette and maybe a little fine tuning on the cosmetics if you so choose, but it's a nice vintage boombox. Thanks for looking.